What's up guys, Football Fumble back again for another video. Still just me because Adam is on holiday for one more game week, but he'll be back to do all the reviews and stuff next week. And hey, today we are looking forward to game week 2 and looking at my team selection, captain picks and even some of your dilemmas that you sent me on Twitter. So let's get straight into it without wasting any more time. Now, last week, as you know, if you watched the review, I had a pretty damn good week. 90 points, 25k in the world. So, in terms of what I'm changing about my team, not much at all. Nothing. I'm rolling a transfer, basically. There's nothing to change, there's no reason to change anything. And this is what I'm looking like. So, it's the same starting 11 as last week. And only difference being, I've got a debate between Haaland captain or Salah captain. Now, a quick shout out to FPL Agony, who are great lads. Go and drop them a follow and check them out on YouTube. We were discussing this earlier in DMs, and they were debating what to go for. For me personally, I'm going with Haaland with City at home to Bournemouth, as opposed to Salah at home to Palace. Now, Salah does have a good record against Palace, but Haaland just seems to have the momentum for me after that first game. I honestly think he can score 25, 30 Premier League goals this season and is a fairly solid captain choice for probably most weeks. That Salah versus Haaland captain debate could be here all season, if I'm honest, which is makes it more fun because last season, honestly, captain and Salah every week was incredibly boring. So hopefully Haaland's here to provide some competition and some differentials captains wise, as opposed to 100% Salah. Moving on to our next point, key fixtures. Obviously, City home to Bournemouth is a fixture that will capture the attention of a lot of people out there. People will be questioning should you be having two City attackers in there and midfielder maybe. The issue I have with this is if you go Mahrez, Foden, or Grealish, one of them's not going to play, right? You talk about Pep Roulette. A lot of people are going very strong 11s and quite cheap benches. And I just, for me personally, playing Pep Roulette is not a roulette game worth playing. Haaland is pretty nailed in my opinion, and Cancelo is the only other City player I have who plays every single week. But me personally, there's so many good value midfielders out there. I mean, you look at my midfield: Martinelli 6 million, Bailey 5 million, Kulusevski 8 million. Kulusevski bagged last week at 8 million, compared to Foden at the same price, who isn't guaranteed to start every week. Kulusevski obviously bagged a lot last season when he came in at Tottenham as well. So in my head, that's not a risk worth taking at an 8 million midfielder. Martinelli at 6 million. I just in my head, it's a better option than having a City player in there who's not guaranteed to play. When everyone in my midfield currently is guaranteed to play, including Andreas on the bench, who looked very good against Liverpool. So ticks the eye test box. So yeah, I'm just not sure on having a City midfielder in that, if I'm honest. Um, Obviously Liverpool home to Palace. Liverpool did look quite shaky against Fulham, but in my opinion, that's just a small blip. I wouldn't be panic selling your Liverpool players thinking they're not going to keep clean sheets because that defence hasn't changed from last season. It's still going to be rock solid, and they still got Fabinho sat in front of them, Hendo sat in front of them. I can't see that game against Fulham becoming a regular occurrence, in my opinion. So don't panic selling Liverpool players. I don't think that's worth it. Next point, people who own Harry Kane. Obviously, his price has already gone down, at the time of recording this, and he could go down again to 11.3. But is it an absolute must to transfer him to Haaland? Now, I'm not sure it is if you're in that situation. I don't think it's an absolute must. If we look at Harry Kane, and you look at his fixtures, I'm looking at, all right, Chelsea next compared to Haaland having Bournemouth at home. However, you look at the kind of fixtures up until the Man City game, and you think Wolves at home, Nottingham Forest, all right, West Ham's a tough game, and then Fulham home. There is still some big potential for points for Kane in those fixtures, and you know how good that front three are for Tottenham. So if you can stomach not having Haaland for his home game at Bournemouth, I don't think it's essential selling Kane for Haaland. Would I in that situation? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I might feel the pressure and do it if that makes sense, because I feel like a high percentage of people of Kane owners are going to do that. But I don't think it is an absolute must. And when you think of if you especially taking a -4, if Haaland only scores one against Bournemouth and you've taken a -4 hit for him from Kane, that might not be worth it in the long run at all. I think you're bagging on Haaland scoring a brace if you're taking a hit to bring him in for Kane. Obviously, it's not a straight swap anymore because Kane's gone down in value. So if you've got no money in the bank, you're going to be taking a hit, right? Next, I asked for your dilemmas on Twitter, as my team was staying identical this week, so there wasn't much to talk about. So everyone who's replied, we're going to go through your dilemmas now, and I'll give my opinion on them. So Nathan, at FPL Nathan said, thinking of taking Lingard out for Martinelli. Now, that's an absolute no-brainer for me. Just simple fact. Look at Nottingham Forest's fixtures. Nottingham Forest's fixtures. They're not very good. And Arsenal have very good fixtures, and Martinelli is an absolute guaranteed starter in that front three on the left. So, no-brainer for me. Martinelli's going to score more points, especially at this stage in the season, looking at the fixtures. Do it. The sixth said, I'm still tripled up on at the sixth sin said, I'm still tripled up on Liverpool. I'm thinking about switch one of them to a Spurs or Chelsea midfielder. Do not panic sell your Liverpool players. That game against Fulham, I can only see being a small blip. They haven't got any weaker really when you look how good Núñez looks compared to last season. Don't panic sell your Liverpool players. You're going to be wasting points on transfers. And in the long run, it absolutely won't be worth it. And those Liverpool players will absolutely score points. So don't do that, please. It will wreck your rank. At FPL Boyo, Chris, playing Grimares or Andreas in midfield, everything else is nailed. Who do Newcastle have? Let's have a look at a Newcastle player. Shut up, that you'll do, mate. So Newcastle have Brighton away. Now, Brighton did look good, admittedly, against Man United. Or Andreas away at Wolves. That's a tough one, because Andreas did look very good at the weekend against Liverpool. I think Andreas... Oh, wasn't going to do that. I think Andreas is more attacking than Grimares. Grimares sits quite deep. He is kind of box to box. That's a tough one. That's a 50-50 one for me. I don't really want to go either way. I'm going to be not very helpful and just sit on the fence, because, to be honest, that could go either way. And if I tell you to put one in and not the other's going to bag. And I don't want to be the one who told you to do that. So I'm just going to say go with your gut on that one. I'm very sorry I wasn't very helpful. At Fred's FPL, take a -4 to avoid Kane price drop and get Martinelli and potentially Núñez price rise. Game week 1 risk didn't pay off. It looks like on here you've already done it, unless that's just like a thing. Anyway, that's interesting. I would have had Martinelli to begin with, and Kane's price has already dropped, but could drop again anyway. And Martinelli's will go up. Nunes does look good, and it's actually a bit of a differential, which is amazing, isn't it, really, when someone comes in for that amount of money. So Kane out, Martinelli, and Nunes in. I'm not sure who else you're taking out. I think I'd say. Oh, I'm not really sure. Martinelli in for Bailey. Yeah, I think that's a good swap, really. But it's the -4 this early. Do you not would you not want to roll a transfer maybe and make significant changes afterwards? I think that's what I'd look at doing. Maybe I maybe roll a transfer, and then if you really feel like doing it next week, do it. But it looks like you might have already done it. So hey, hopefully it pays off for you. At FPL Batesman, nothing major. Whether to bench Bailey or Neto. Who do Aston Villa have? And who do Wolves have? Aston Villa have Everton at home. That's a good fixture. Actually, I don't like the look of Wolves at all, really. I'd go with Bailey, I think. Winger, going to get forward into that final third a lot more. I'm going Bailey in that situation, I think. That's just off my gut feeling, though, so I wouldn't listen to me if I were you. Anyway, whether to have an extra pint or not, at how not to FPL, have an extra pint is always the answer. At FPL Maguire, keeping or selling Perisic. Now, the Tottenham fullbacks are a weird one, right? None of them are guaranteed to start. I'd wait one more week, see if he starts, see if he has a run of games under Conte, and then make a decision. It might be a bit early to get rid of him, but I'd say see if he starts this week, and if he doesn't, get rid. But for now, that's a tough one. Would you at Nikita Krivorich 5? I can't pronounce your name. I do apologise. Would you do Son to KDB or Trippier to Cancelo and Son to Diaz Foden? I wouldn't do anything yet. I would wait. I would roll your transfer. Wait a week because there's no need to panic sell Son. It's a shame we don't have Cancelo, but I'd probably roll a transfer and make any major changes next week and try and save a few hit points. That's what I would do personally. But hey, to summarise, my team's staying the same. I had a great start last week. Can it continue in the same vein, point-wise? Definitely not. But I'll do my best. Anyway. Anyway, that is the end of the video. I have been Football Fumble. If you have enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing if you're not already and liking the video. It helps us more than you can imagine. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.